Oi! Yes! What's going on, everybody? It is Thursday afternoon here, not quite evening. I'm here with my guy Lou Betya from the MMA Engine YouTube channel, and we are going to be going through a fighter interview today. UFC fighter Jay Perrin is going to be fighting this Saturday, making his second UFC appearance against Aoriqilang here in the bantamweight division. That is correct. And I'm going to call him AQ, though, so that you can't pick on my pronunciation of this dude's name anymore.
I'm just bringing him in now, then. I'm just bringing Jay Perrin in now. Jay, welcome to the show, my man. Nice to meet you.
Brother, you butchered that, huh? You know what I mean? You know what I did? I was bad. I was not good. I was worse than I thought I was going to be honest with you. I just call him Richie. You know what I mean? He's going to get pissed at me for that, but whatever. Richie seems cool. He's going to fight me anyway. It doesn't matter. I hope he gets pissed at me. Maybe he'll fight me wrong, so that's fine.
Hey, you two are going to be locked in a cage, and you're going to be able to handle it on Saturday. So whatever happens before then really doesn't mean much. It's about what happens once you get in that cage, right, Jay?
Yes, sir.
Hell yeah. Well, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy week to talk with us today about this upcoming fight. Can't wait for this fight. There are a lot of people who are very excited about this. Now, Lou and I are gamblers, so we like to talk about these fights from a gambling perspective. We like to look deep into these fights, into the numbers, into the experience, into the striking, the grappling, the strength of schedule, to kind of figure out who's got the advantage here. And we wanted to talk to you about all of these aspects of the fight. Now, you've held two regional scene straps before getting to the UFC. You were the Cage Titans championship bantamweight champion, and also the CES bantamweight champion. So you've got 3 5-round fights under your belt. Can you talk to us about what those championship fights on the regional scene kind of bring to you as you step into the UFC now for the second time? How does having that championship experience on the regional scene help you?
It just means I'm prepared for big moments, dude. You know what I mean? Like big moments. Titles are, you know what I mean? A lot of people will discredit like titles outside the UFC, but there are legitimate world titles outside of the UFC. You know what I mean? Outside of Bellator and the PFL, and CES is one of them. Cage Titans, at one point was just regional promotion, but like it's grown quite a bit, and it actually pulls a bigger crowd than CES does. If you ever have the opportunity to cover an event, Plymouth Memorial Hall seats like 2,500 people, and they fill that bitch every time. So like, you know what I mean? I have had huge crowds before. They boo me a lot. They don't like me in Plymouth.
That means you're doing your job. That means you're doing your job, right?
Dude, fuck them. I don't care. I'm still gonna beat up your boy. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't matter. Whatever you say to me doesn't matter because I'm still going to beat your friend up. You know what I mean? It doesn't.
In the heel is a lot.
It's gonna be really fucking awkward when I beat your friend up and then I, do like a. I've done that before. You know what I mean? It's great. To do that, actually, I think one time somebody like started to do this to me, like in the cage, like right before.
I don't know what that means.
He's just jerking off towards me. I don't know what that means. I just looked at him. I just looked at him as I was being introduced, and I could hear him, and he was like screaming at me. I'm like, "Hey, watch me knock your friend out!" And then I did, and then I did it like immediately, and I was like, "Hey, that sucks, huh? That's really shitty. You're embarrassed now, huh?" But no, like the championship experience, you know what I mean? To have a belt, it's cool to have two and have 3 5-minute rounds. Just proves that like I can do that. I can be championship caliber. I've made championship weight. I've done all those things. You know what I mean? So I don't fold under pressure. Pressure doesn't bother me. If anything, if I've learned anything about myself, and if you've watched I rise to occasions. So you know what I mean? Like if it's a good striker, I will strike with you. You know what I mean? Like I will be able to do that. I don't know what these statistics are that I have like 2 strikes a minute, which is fucking weird because I don't think that's true, but you know what I mean? I just think that it means that I'm able to go 5 rounds. I don't get tired after 5 rounds. If you've watched it, things like that. It's just if there's a big moment, I rise to the occasion, and this one will be no different.
Excellent. Because when I was looking into the experience here, you've got an 8-year career, 15 professional fights, but your opponent AQ under 7-year career, but he's got 27 professional fights. Check this out, Jay. He fought 11 times in 2016. He fought 10 times in 2017. He fought 9 times in 2018. So, it's wild. You don't usually see people fighting.
He fought those in China, correct?
Yes, exactly. He was fighting in WLF, Wu Ling Feng, and
whatever the fuck that is.
Yeah, exactly.
He could have fought in Mexico. It would have meant the same shit to me, or Brazil. You know what I mean? We all know how those fights go. It might as well have been fucking Julio Cesar Chavez to me, because literally fighting trash men outside the
78 times he fought trash.
I mean, it's easy to fight fucking trash people when you're in, you know what I mean, 9 times in a row. You know what I mean? It's when you're fighting legitimate contenders. Because I've watched, he fought one of my teammates that helped me prepare for this, and his name is Max.
Right?
No. In China, he fought a guy named Max Laley, and I've watched that fight a few times. And Max is not a garbage man, and he struggled against Max. He barely pulled that one out. You know what I mean? It was Max made a tactical error, and that's really what lost him the fight. It wasn't Aoriqi beat him. It was that Max made mistakes. So again, like, the number of fights doesn't mean shit to me. You know what I mean? It depends who you're fighting, and I'm pretty confident that he's fought nobody. You know what I mean? Like, absolutely no one other than Cameron Else, and I'm not Cameron Else. So
Yeah, and I mean, I could read the names for you, and I guarantee you probably would recognize none of them.
Single one.
There was one situation where he actually fought on a Friday and then fought the next Thursday. He lost by split decision on Friday, then fought the next Thursday. So what is the next, like, for you, Jay, if you had your way, how many times would you fight a year?
4
times a year. If you figure that's
I tried to be doing that. During COVID, like, that was the idea. Once COVID hit, like, I was like, I'm fighting 4 or 5 times this year, because I want to be active. It's like, people like, you only fight, you know what I mean, 2 times a year, and I get that, and it's not by my own fucking design, dude. I was in New England, and I called. I wish that you guys had been paying attention then, because I had been calling every 35er, even 45er at one point out. And all I got was crickets. You know what I mean? Like, nobody wanted to fight, because everybody in New England's a bunch of fucking buddies, and they all, you know what I mean, they all train at the same goddamn gym. And so nobody wants to take hard fights anymore. And the thing is that their managers know that they're very possibly going to take an L to me. So it was hard for me to get opponents for a few years. You know what I mean? I should have. And, I'm 10-5, guys. I get it. Yeah, I get it. But, like, I should be 13-2. A lot of those, at least 3 of those splits are bullshit. They were bullshit, and we can watch them back if you want to, and you can tell me who won those fights.
And the Batista fight can easily be forgiven under the circumstances of the short notice.
I lost that fight. That's what I mean. That's one of the 2. I got finished in one, but if you watch, I wish I had the tape of that. Thanks, Bellator. But that other one that I got finished in I was 10-8 in that guy for 3 straight rounds. I beat the shit out of that guy. I broke my hand and my foot in the last round at the same, like, my right hand and my right foot were both broken. I took a shitty shot, and he got a guillotine. He beat me the only way that he could have beaten me. And that was it. But I can even pull his Glover to Scherer will tell you he cornered him, right? And his teammates, who I recently re-met at the PI, right, told me, bro, had he not gotten that guillotine, you 10-8 that guy 3 times. It was his teammate that said it. You know what I mean? So a lot of my losses are bullshit split decisions. I should be 13-2. And Mario, again, is going to be a top 15 guy. I even talked to John Anik today, and he's like, his projection is pretty high. He's going to go places. You know what I mean? And my record doesn't indicate how good that I actually am. So
look what he did to Kelleher, like, on a scheduled fight, like,
smashed him, bro.
And I'm saying so the thing is look, there's some losses.
Made me look better.
It does. Some losses age really well, and also, like I said, the circumstances of you taking that fight on short notice. I believe it was at 145, right?
Yeah.
30.
Was it 35?
35. I cut from 156 to 36 in 5 days.
I think Tapology had it wrong then.
Dude, Tapology has that listed at 145.
No, it was at 35. Is what it had. And I cut out. They said, "What weight are you at?" And I lied. I said, "I'm 52." And they're like, "Oh, our word, we'll take it." I was 56.5. And I took that fight, and I made weight like a professional, and I still went in there, and on a full camp, this man could not finish me in 3 rounds. He couldn't, and I'm pretty sure I've watched the fight like 2 or 3 times.
You won.
I had on the feet. I had the higher significant strike totals until the last 2 minutes. I hit him way more. So, like, again, I see the stats, like, you throw like 2.5 punches a minute. I'm like, I'm pretty sure I had over 100 strikes landed on that man in that fight. So I don't know where that came from, but you know what I mean? So, like, again, a lot of these stats aren't showing how good I actually am. So that's up to me. Now I have a full camp to prove that against a guy who is not as good as Mario Batista. That's the long and short of that. If you put Mario Batista against Aoriqilang today, Mario fucking trounces Aoriqilang. It wouldn't even be close. So again, I have a bigger opportunity against a less skilled opponent on a bigger stage. So let's get it done, gentlemen. You know what I mean? I'm here. It's my reintroduction to this. So.
Well, let's talk striking, Jay. Before your fight with Mario Batista, it was funny to me. It couldn't have been funny to you, but Joe Martinez said that your background was in karate. And the look on your face, man, the look on your face when he said that, you were pacing back and forth, talking to your corner, like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? Karate?
Well, so he wasn't totally wrong. So like what it was is I trained under Mark Delagrati. And so that's a Muay Thai gym. But what he calls it, and it's like an inside joke between like the people that have fought for him, they call it Delagrati karate. And so that's what I put down as because they like, oh, he's a thug jitsu fighter.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like people do that. So I was trying to give a nod to my old coach. That's really what I was just trying to give respect to my old crew. And when they said karate, I went, what? They also got where I'm from wrong. You know what I mean? Like the whole introduction, the nickname, the style, where I'm from, all of it. I literally went downstairs. I went, hey, so y'all got everything wrong last time. So let's fix that. That would be great. I'd really love to be introduced correctly. Did you get I'm surprised you spelled my fucking name right. You know what I mean? So, so that was like only half. I'm going to guess that he didn't know how to say Delagrati. So he just said karate. And so I just shook my head. I was like, all right, that was hit or miss. That was 50-50 shot that he was going to get that. So like Joe Martinez wasn't 100% wrong. I did put karate down, but it was supposed to be like a respect thing for my old coach.
Right. But your family's got a boxing background, doesn't they?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, I come from Irish boxing.
Aha. Yes. Okay. Very good. So your parents, what was it? Your dad that was a trainer, or?
My grandfather was, he helped train Mickey Ward Mickey Ward was in my parents' wedding. So
that's my guy.
Mickey Ward, round 10, baby. I've known Mick since I was a baby.
Nice.
I've known him for the majority of my life. Like my grandfather's in the book The Fighter. They offered him a role in the movie, but my grandfather doesn't even like having pictures taken of him. So never mind. You know what I mean? Being on camera like that. So he just decided not to do that. He was 55 years old sparring Mickey for his world title fight. Wow. So like I've known,
awesome.
Yeah, my grand, and then he recently, not recently, but in the last couple of years, he had a stroke. And so he's not really like there as much as he was. You know what I mean? He's still lucid, but like not as sharp as he once was. But up until that point, we used to kitchen box and just like slap box. And he was like 70 years old and he still had faster hands than me. You know what I mean? So like, he would whoop my ass. We'd go shoulder to shoulder inside like doorways, like the Philly shell, and just start beating each other up. And my grandfather would whoop my ass all the time. So I even told him on his deathbed, I'm like, I'm sending this one back to you. One of these days, one of these ass whoopings is coming back. I don't care if you're 95, you're gonna get it. Obviously, I was joking, but yeah, my grandfather was, and his Uncle Billy, his brother. So his brother was also number 7 at light heavyweight in the world at one point. So boxing does
in blood then.
Yeah, so like I'm the last one. I'm not a boxer. I wanted to be, but he didn't want me to box because he saw somebody die in the ring. So he's like, while he was refereeing an amateur fight, and he's like, he saw a kid die, like not like a grown man, like a child, like a 15-year-old or something like that. And he was just like, I don't want you to do this. And so I found jiu-jitsu and, some Muay Thai at 14. And I was like, this isn't boxing. And so I just picked it up. He's not a fan of the sport, but I do carry the mantle of the last fighter in the family. And I don't know if there will be another one. So, I'm just kind of carrying it probably until the fire goes out.
Cool. That's really awesome. It's great to hear when there's a family connection with the sport. And I think that's always inspiring to a youngster when you've seen your ancestors do it before you and you want to make them proud. I think that's really cool.
Mm. It's an honor for sure. It's an honor to carry that for sure.
Absolutely. So talk to us a little bit about the striking in this matchup, because, I see you throwing combinations. I see you moving your feet. I see you doing a lot of things that really good boxers do. And then when I watch AQ, I see a guy who's just swinging hammers. I mean, throwing jump knees, big hooks, big power shots. I mean, without giving away any kind of game plan, just talk to us a little bit how you see the striking in this fight going.
He's going to do exactly that. He's going to do exactly that to me. The thing is that he's flat-footed. He doesn't move his head very much. He'll come out strong in the first round. Everything that AQ does is power-based. So, like, he's trying to knock my head off the whole fucking time. You know, he couldn't knock out flyweights, so I don't really know where there's like this insinuation that I'm gonna get rocked, but I don't know. In my 15 fights, that has never happened one time. So, like, I don't know where that assumption comes from. He is going. The thing about that, his style is that it's completely unsustainable. You can't throw as hard as you can for 15 straight minutes. It's impossible. Like, it's just not going to work. You know, and I'll give you an example of that. And he's a good friend of mine. Randy Costa is kind of like that. You know what I mean? He is ultra powerful. You know what I mean? If he hits you, that shit hurts. But if you've noticed in his fights, Randy starts to fade because he doesn't think about poking and prodding. He just wants to hurt you. You know what I mean? He wants to finish the fight. The thing about the difference between those two is that Aoriqilang, he's deceptive. I've studied my opponent very well here. Okay. He is a counter fighter. He actually is a counter fighter as much as he goes forward. He only comes forward to make you try and strike. So once he does that, he comes over the top of the big right hand. He's also a person that if you kick him, he immediately kicks back. Now, normally are like, you know, and DC talked to me about it today. He goes, is that a bad thing? I said, if you're a Muay Thai fighter, you can read that. You know that. Because if you do it every time, I know that if I kick you, you're going to throw a kick back immediately. That's readable and counterable. You know, so what happens if you, and I took a lot of cues from the Jeff Molina fight. He gets tired, obviously, but he'll lunge into things. You know, he doesn't, you know, he's very flat-footed, and he tries, like you said, he jumps into stuff. I don't believe that his wrestling is very good. You know, he's strong for 25, but we'll see how he is here. Again, he leaps into stuff, he overcommits, and he leans forward. He leads with his chin, you know, and I think the striking, as far as technique goes, I definitely have the advantage. You know, I go high and low. He definitely dips his head a lot. I like against Cameron Else, he dipped a lot and went to the body and came back up over the head, and I prepared completely for that. I'm somebody that also goes to the body. If you watched my Mario fight, I dug his body every opportunity that he covered his head up. Every time you cover your head, I'm going to rip your body apart. And he has a habit of doing this and just kind of standing there. If you watch a lot of the fights, whereas he starts to slow down, all he does is he wants to walk forward. He's going to walk forward and he's going to try and hit you. Again, no head movement, no side to side or lateral movement. He's just going to walk forward. I have a lot of side to side motion. So I think that the striking is going to be kind of like that. In the first round, he's going to come out with his best stuff like they all do. And as it goes on, that power style is going to fade. And I'm going to take over the fight in the second and third.
Yeah. And so, you know, that's one of the reasons I asked you about that 5-round experience is because conditioning is so important. And another thing that we talk about as gamblers is pacing. Because you mentioned, you know, AQ is the type of guy who can't sustain a 15-minute game plan of doing what he likes to do best, which is be explosive, explode forward, walk forward, throw with power, maybe shoot the occasional takedown. Because if you're doing that at that pace, you got maybe 5-6 minutes. You know, and you've been in fights where we've seen you, like against Johnny Cupcakes Campbell when you got the Cage Titans championship. You know, you put that dude up against the fence in the first round, and then he didn't get his back off the fence for the next 4 minutes. And then you realize, you know, this guy can't get his back off the fence.
Nope, he couldn't. And the thing is that the thing about me is that I can continue the same pressure the whole time. It's just a continuous. I'm a marathon runner, so I can keep the same pace the whole time. And if I need to back off, I will. I don't get tired, gentlemen. The only reason I gassed in the last fight is because, again, I cut 26 pounds in 5 days. And really what happened was my coach was yelling at me and my brain was telling me to do stuff, but my body just would not react the way that I wanted it to. Like it was just half a second slower than I needed it to be. And it's not like in the third I was getting trounced at the end of I think he only took over in the last 2 minutes. You know, and again, I lost the fight. I'm totally all right with that. And people on Twitter can be all over me about it. You know what I mean? But again, full camp, every time you see me full camp, I don't get tired. You'll see me after the fights. I run around. I'm talking. I'm fucking jumping. Do you know what I mean? Oh, someone says, hold up the woo. All right. Well, you know, the woo ain't
Woo
nothing to
said
fuck
Jay
with.
ain't nothing to fuck with, so they're sending some
Absolutely.
respect back your way,
100%.
brother.
And the thing is, you know what? People are acting like the odds are like minus 600, bro. This is an even ass fight. You know what I mean? There's no way. And I haven't said that I'm gonna go in there and roll them. You know what I mean? Like I think it's gonna be competitive in the first round, but I do know that I don't slow down, and he does. You know what I mean?
There's actually been a lot of money moving this number toward you.
Yeah,
dude,
Jay, the
love
money's
that.
coming on in. The money is coming in on you right now, and it has been ever since they opened that line.
Yeah. Oh, I don't really know. My dad gambled us out of 2 homes. You know what I mean? So like,
yeah,
you know, I okay again, unless it's like poker against my grandmother or like some dice on the street or something. I don't really gamble like that, so I don't like pay attention to shit like that. I just know that what's odds and what's not, and I know that when I saw the line open, it's pretty even, and it should be. You know what I mean? I just think that the stylistically, I move really well. I have 10 more feet to move with, and I get to display actually how good my footwork really is and how smooth my striking is. And since Mario, I have put in countless hours with my hands. You know what I mean? And the thing about it is, again, my main partner this camp has been Merab. My main training partner is Merab Dvalishvili. That's who I have put in the most work with over the last
not a bad one to have.
I've heard of him.
Think of it this way. Think of it this way. Sorry, I got the light. Think of it this way. Not a bad guy. Number 6 in the world, right?
Yeah.
And Merab likes me because I'm a dog. At the end of the day, and my coaches even think it's kind of a fault because I am a tactician, but I'm also willing to stand there and trade with you. Like I love the brawl. I love this shit. So like again, I'll stand there and trade. If there's somebody to mimic pure intensity, right? As far as plodding forward and being in your fucking face the whole time, I can't think of anybody better than Merab.
Well, yeah, nobody does it like him.
Oh, he's goddamn relentless.
Nobody.
I've got the stats in front of me. 139 takedown attempts for Merab Dvalishvili in 9 fights. You know, I mean, that kind of pace is not sustainable for 99.9% of human beings on this planet.
And here's the thing about Merab is that you don't spar Merab. You fight Merab. You're fighting him. I have fought him for 2 months. Like over 2. So like, again, people think that the intensity is going to bug me. No, it is not. Unless you're number 5 through 1, you know what I mean? I don't care how intense you are. I don't care. You know what I mean? So like, I have been keeping up, and it's not like I'm not sitting here. I'm not going to disparage my teammate. I'm not going to sit here and be like, it's boring. I know that I can keep up with these type of people. You know what I mean? Like this, it's not like the gap between me and the top 10 isn't as big as you think that it is. That's how
we talk about this a lot, like not just like as a company, but like, you know, as gamblers on Twitter, as fans, we love dudes that fight for our money, and guys that don't are like insta fades to pick. Like, we love hearing stuff like this. Like, you're a guy that's going to fight for our money. Like, I'm not saying you care if I win my
I'm fighting for my life, dude. You know what I mean? I'm trying to change my life on Saturday. That's the thing.
I'm trying to win a chicken sandwich. Your stakes are higher.
Well, not even just that. I'm going to fucking buy 1,000 chicken sandwiches. Oh my God. I can't wait. I mean,
go to Wawa, dude. They're like super underrated.
Dude, Chick-fil-A. I'm sorry. I don't give a fuck how you feel about it.
Get out of here. No. Stop. Chick-fil-A. No, stop.
Chick-fil-A sauce is amazing, and that's heresy. Stop it. You knock it off. You cut it out over there,
really
Philly.
They're really
all right,
good, man. They're really good.
The Chick-fil-A sauce is super fire. You can't fucking say it's not.
The sauce,
the point is that I have been training with the number 6 guy in the world, a guy that potentially could have a title shot in this division if he win against a very tall order in Jose Aldo. But the chaos that Merab brings into a fight, from takedowns to striking, he's very unpredictable. It's hard to keep up with, and I have done that consistently for months now. This guy has brought the fire to me for months now. And sorry, AQ, you're not Merab. You know what I mean? You're not.
It seems like a step down. Like, with all respect, it seems like a step down.
Several steps down. So, like, again, and not for nothing, he looked great in his last fight. I'm not gonna finish Cam. You know what I mean? What am I gonna say? That's not gonna happen to me. That's just not. I'm sorry, and I don't know how to say it without being weird. But
he also fought a guy that's very, very killer be killed in the first 2 minutes of fights.
Thank you.
Yeah, and we're just talking about like how you say that you don't quit, you don't slow down, you can keep a pace for the whole time. Well, Cameron Else is the absolute opposite of that, and he's the guy who all of his fights finish in the first round. So I mean, that's obviously something that's
it's just not going to happen for me. That's just not going to happen. And like, you're gonna have to kill me, man. Like my whole mentality is it's do or die time for me. Or like I'm not gonna be one of these guys, especially from New England, because I've spent my whole career in New England proving everybody that fuck you guys. I'm different than every single one of you. You know what I mean? Every one of you are not the same as me. So like I'm gonna do that very same thing. How many people from New England have you seen, even recently, who have come up and just gotten smashed? You know what I mean? Just getting absolutely worked on. And I you know what, man? I am from the streets of Lowell, Massachusetts. And guess what? I don't care if it's 3 people or 30,000 people. I'm not about to get punked in front of all these people. I guarantee you that. On my best day, man, there's not a single person alive that's just going to whoop my ass. And I've said that for years now. And it's remained true. And people talk about my losses. Guys, how many wins did I get before that last loss? 8. Took 8 wins before I lost. I was due. You know what I mean? You lose eventually in this sport. I lose far less than I win. So, I had a rough start to my career, and I picked it back up. But like, again, man, I'm gonna meet this man in the middle, and he's gonna learn real soon that I'm not just some 35er that you can fold. You know what I mean? You got sat down by Jeff Molina, who isn't a power puncher. You got sat down twice. You know what I mean? And people are like, well, it was at 25. It's different. Hey, he used to brag that he made 25 all the time with relative ease. So I don't want to hear there was a weight cut that did that. I don't want to hear it.
He also got outworked by Durden in the 3rd round. His cardio was...
Thank you. I'm much more well-rounded than both of those people. You know what I mean? Durden's a better wrestler than me, but I'm a better striker than him for sure. I'm a better wrestler than Molina. So like, you know what I mean? I am a more complete fighter than this man. And again, I give all respect to my opponent because, he's got a lot of experience, but he hasn't fought anybody as well-rounded as me, and he's been fucking sat down and lost to people that aren't. And I am as much of a dog, if not more of a dog, than this person. So, like, there's no part of this. I have prepared every which way you can for this. Like Kobe Bryant said, the confidence comes in preparation, and prepare I have. All right. Every day I wake up and go, could I have done more? And the immediate answer in my own head is no. There is nothing more that I could have done to prepare for this man. I prepared for a world championship caliber fight. If he doesn't come in there and give me a war, I'm going to be disappointed. You know what I mean? I'm going to be absolutely mad by that. So like all camp, been saying 3 checks. I want 3 checks. All right. So like that's what I'm finishing. I want my show money. I want my win money, and I want my bonus. That's what I want. Because I'm like, for me to not win emphatically or with a war is not enough for me. You know what I mean? I want to prove to everybody I'm not just some flash in the pan, a guy that got here and is okay with just getting here. I'm straight with that. I want to be here, and that's it. That's the end of it. I want this to be my career. I want to make enough money to buy a bunch of businesses and then live right off into the fucking sunset. You know what I mean? Like everybody else. In order to do that, I got to be a dog, and a dog I shall be. To the point where even John Wood tells me, maybe don't be so much of a dog. Maybe be less. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. That's the best way I can put this with this. You know what I mean? I just don't see where I'm not better than him, and you can say whatever you'd like about me, but every time someone tells me I can't do something, I shove it down their throat every single time. So this will be no different.
I got a bold prediction, despite what our coworker Brady would say. I think this fight will be way more exciting than Pudilova and Wu Yanan.
Bold prediction. I don't know who either of those 2 people are.
Bold
prediction. They're on the main card.
Well, they're on the card with you, but they're
on the main card. They're on the pay-per-view card. They took a 1-4 UFC record in Wu Yanan.
Yeah, dude, 2-5 record.
This was really more to bust on Brady than anything else. If I'm being
why? But why? Why did they do that?
Brady asked for why'd they move it? Oh, I don't know.
Why'd they move it? You know what I mean? Because they put Tibura on the prelims, right?
Yeah. They put Tibura and Romanov on the prelims, and they put Pudilova and Wu Yanan on the pay-per-view card.
I guess I understand you want a woman fight on the main card and like a big heavyweight for like to headline the prelims.
You're gonna throw more punches in the first round than are gonna be like thrown for that.
I don't know.
Fight.
I'm pretty sure both of those women are like 1-3 and like 2-5.
Exactly.
So like
you're actually being nice record wise.
And I appreciate, and it's funny because I've gotten a lot of love on Twitter. I've gotten some haters today, but What are you going to do?
That means you're doing well. That means you're doing good, dude. When you start getting haters, it means you're doing good.
I don't give a shit, dude. I've been booed most of my career. You know what I mean? It means that they're paying attention. You know what's funny about the haters is they claim not to know who I am, but then start listing off all of these stats about me. And I'm like, would you like an autograph? Because you seem to know quite a bit about me, because I don't know all that shit. I didn't even know it. I don't know. You know what I mean? I do like that people are excited for the matchup. It is a good matchup. It's going to be a fun, exciting fight. And I love that. It sets my teeth on edge, bro. I want it to be a good fight. I don't want it to be, I mean, obviously, if I go in there, hit him one time and fall down, that's great. Go put on my suit and go get drunk and be fun. You know what I mean? That'd be great. But I don't think that's what's going to be. I think the first round is going to be hectic. And then second and third, it's all me, baby, all day. You know, so, you know, however, people are like, you're going to go for this, you're going to go for that. And I'm going to answer that question now, is that I don't look for anything super specific. I let the fight come to me. You know, because I find that like a word search, if you look for something too hard, too specifically, you'll never find it. You know what I mean?
Let's talk about that, Jay, because that's really important to us gamblers, is when a fighter can show that they don't just go in there with one game plan. They're going to adjust to what their opponent gives them. And if I see you getting a fight of the night bonus here, you've got 15 professional fights, you've never been knocked out. AQ's got 27 professional fights. He's never been knocked out. I think if you get fight of the night here, you break this dude in the third round.
100%.
You break him with pace, you break him with pressure, and you're going to have to make good decisions during the fight to in order to be able to achieve that objective. Can you talk to us about how you make adjustments in fights? Because I've seen you wrestle. I've seen you put dudes in the clinch. I've seen you box. I've seen you win fights a number of different ways, and you seem to have the ability to be able to fight to your opponent's weaknesses. Can you talk just a little bit about how you think about strategy? How do you game plan?
So I'm a chess player, man. Like the thing about this is that like this sport is adapt or die. You know what I mean? If you go in there with too much ego, which my opponent is one of those people, you lose sight of what the plan is. You know what I mean? And if you can't adapt to, what if your plan doesn't work?
Yep.
You know what I mean? What happens then? And now you have no plan B. So like, you know, what if plan B doesn't work? You know what I mean? You need to be sharp everywhere. And so I prepare everything. That's why I don't look for things that are super specific, because if I mean, there's a plan. We practice their tendencies. We know what he's going to throw. And, you know, I mean, when you get tired, especially when you get into the zone, you kind of go back to what you know. If something isn't working for me, I'm okay with, and I'm okay with my ego enough to go, this isn't working. I need to figure this out. You know what I mean? In between, so like in the Mario fight, there was a moment where, you know, Anik was like, Jay, in between rounds, kind of wide-eyed, said he's losing. I was breathing heavy when I said that. What I meant to say was, he's beating me in the clinch. That's where he was beating me. And he adjusted really well. And I couldn't adjust to that. And so this time, you know what I mean? If something's not working, I'm totally fine with switching up what I'm doing. And in fact, if I switch it up and then go back to what I was doing, it's probably going to work again. You know what I mean? It's just being able to admit that, all right, what I thought was going to work isn't. You know what I mean? What other tools do I have to make this better? And I have a lot of them. You know what I mean? So like, again, I tell my students all the time too, remember your weapons. You know what I mean? Remember all your weapons. They're all there. You know what I mean? Sometimes people be like, oh, why wasn't he kicking? He probably forgot he had him. You know, he probably forgot that he could do that. You know what I mean? Things like that. You know, if he gets to the clinch, I think honestly he's going to try and press me against the cage. And just like Mario did. And that's a mistake. If you think that I'm not good in a clinch, that's
body work all day, man.
There's tape to prove that you're very good in a clinch.
Body work all day.
So again, I welcome that. You know what I mean? And I like the grueling parts of a fight. Again, guys, I don't get tired. So like when I'm, you know, going, I enjoy what I do. You know what I mean? So like when I'm in there, having the time of my life all the time. So that's what makes me not be able to get tired, is that I enjoy what I do. I'm relaxed, I'm calm, and I'm analytical. So like I take my ego out of things as much as I can. And that's because it has no place in there. You know, it has no place. I don't fight with emotion. I fight with my brain. And so my brain tells me, hey, you need to do this instead. And, you know, I have a lot of faith in my coaches. And if they tell me to do something, I'm doing it. That's it. Immediately. You'll watch. You'll again go back to the last fight. You'll hear Wood say, flank, get off the cage. Immediately flanked, post, turned Mario around. The thing that happened with Mario is I was undersized.
Yeah.
And for the first time, if you've noticed, I muscle people around a lot, right? I'm strong. He was the first guy really to be able to push me around. Guys, I gained 5 pounds of muscle for this camp. You know what I mean? Like I gained a lot of like I started this weight cut or this camp at 169 pounds. You know what I mean? So like I cut a lot of weight. I'm gonna be big in there. You know what I mean? So I don't think that that's gonna happen again. He's a big 35er for a guy that's 25 that came up.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that he's going to outstrength me. I don't think that he's going to outmind me. And I think that the more frustrated he gets, the less his game plan is going to work. You know what I mean? His coach has a lot of fighters that are like that, the way that he fights. If you look at it, and my manager pointed out, Henry Corrales kind of fights the same way, kind of flat-footed, really punchy. And the difference between them is that Henry's is smart and AQ fights with his emotions. And if I play to that, he's going to make mistakes, and making mistakes against me is bad. It's not a good thing. Don't give me an opening. And he's going to use his PS plenty, so I don't know. I just think I have more weapons to use, and I remember them well. I'm a lot more lucid in there. And this camp has been crazy for my mental game. You know what I mean? Like I call it quarterback vision. You can see I see the field really, really well. And the field is
quarterback for years, so that helps.
Tom fucking Brady, dude. Goddamn traitor. And Mac Jones, Roll Tide, Alabama, Roll Tide. I just see everything a little bit better, and I have 10 more feet in which to work with. You know what I mean? So the Apex has a 25-foot cage.
Yeah.
This will have a 35-foot cage, which people don't think about. But coming from boxing,
we know it's a huge difference.
It's a big difference. So the cage tightens. So smaller cages are meant for grapplers. Larger cages are meant for strikers. You know what I mean? Right. So and that's why the UFC has it. So I'm gonna play that to my advantage. My boxing is smooth. You know what I mean? So I go head body all the time. I'm seeing my target. I'm even tricking John Wood right now on the pads. I still I'm a day out from weigh-ins. My power is still there. I still retain my power and my speed, and I'm thinking fine. I'm moving absolutely fine. So again, there's no better shape I could be in, mental clarity I could have, or really just confidence in the preparation that I have. I am the best version of myself. And like I told you before, there is not a single person on the planet Earth at 135 pounds, and even some at 145, that's just going to whoop my ass when I'm on my best. And that's what I asked for. I asked them to give me time to prepare for that, and they gave me a good opponent and time to prepare. And I have been feeling in my soul, down to my bones, every single day that I'm gonna put something special on Saturday. There's something special coming. I've been watching over and over. Hen and TJ won over and over and over.
Can't go wrong.
That's the kind of fight I'm going for. You know what I mean? A tough opponent that stands still, doesn't move his head and plots forward against a guy that goes up and down, can switch stances, and has great footwork. Be prepared for some shit like that. You know what I mean? Because I'm not gonna back down. Again, he's not gonna take a back step, and neither am I. But one of us is gonna fall down that way. And again, if the striking doesn't go my way, guys, I don't think he's great off his back. He's been subbed more than once. So
he's been subbed 3 times, and those are on the regional scene by guys that you have never heard of, Jay. I promise you.
So again, you know what I mean? Again, there's a lot to exploit here. You know what I mean? I just see a lot of holes, and you can say whatever you want about me in my last fight or my record or this or that, but I'm gonna improve that shit. You know what I mean? It took 8 straight fights for me to lose, and it took us a 26-pound cut and 6 days notice for me to, or pardon me, a 20-pound cut and 6 days notice to lose that streak. And it was by decision. 30-26. I'm not sure why. I don't know where it was 30-26, but yeah.
And you still won the first round. I mean, easy.
I again, man, I can stick with the top 15. And in 2 years I will be in the top 15. Calling that now. Calling that right now. I am going to be a name people remember. And again, you're going to see me fight people the likes of Adrian Yanez eventually. You know what I mean? Again, not to call out Adrian Yanez. I do eventually want to fight that guy because he's really, really good.
He's watching right now. Just so
is he?
No,
let's go.
Not. But I'll. No,
we've already had this conversation.
I'm going to tell him that you think Dr. Pepper sucks.
Dr. Pepper's good when you're stoned.
Fair enough.
I was on the Randy Costa train, dude. I like Reese's cups.
I like, yeah, well,
obviously there.
I was that, you know what I mean? Randy's my guy. I don't know if you've seen his mustache, but it's fucking
it's on point
right now, dude. It's fucking crazy. But I do believe I've believed since I was 7 years old, and this is from the bottom of my heart. I believe this. I was 7 years old, and I looked up to the sky, and I said, I am not meant to be normal. I am not meant to live a conventional life, and I refuse to. You know what I mean? I'm not going to say die here. So again, I keep saying I'm coming out of that cage with my shield or on it. You know what I mean? So that's the kind of fight you can expect from me.
Yeah, and I'll tell you something, man. There are a lot of gamblers right now that are taking notes saying this guy Jay knows how to make adjustments within a fight. He trusts all his weapons, and those are the exact type of things that I like to hear. My dog was just going nuts over here, and he only barks when he likes the underdog. And the last time he barked like that was when we were interviewing Cody Brundage just before he knocked out Trayshawn Gore in the first round. So now that Bootsy's over there barking his ass off a minute ago, I'm starting to think Jay Perrin might be sleeping this dude in the third round after he drowns him.
You know, again, it's constant pressure. Like, and I said, if it touches the ground, man, I've been saying I'm going to swallow this man whole. You know what I mean? Like, it's not going to be, you know, Mario is a great wrestler, and he was very strong and has a great pedigree. And it was hard to keep him down. And that was a mistake that I made. You know what I mean? Like I blasted through him on a double, and I couldn't keep him down because I didn't secure the position. Do you know what I did? I studied that, and I went, we need to do better here. And if I can get Merab down, I can get Aoriqilang down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
I would think so.
So, like, you know, so again, man, I have prepared with quite literally the best in the world. I've been able to pick Aljo's brain, no matter how you feel about Aljo. You know what I mean?
I love Aljo, man.
Aljo's a friend of mine, man, and he's been very supportive of me. You know what I mean? And I have, you know, our mutual love of Merab has brought us together, and I've been able to pick his brain. And, you know, there's even sparring videos where you can see him be like, Jay, do this, Jay, do that. And you can hear me listening. You know what I mean? Because this is that, despite what you think, he's the #1 guy in the world.
Yes.
It would be stupid for me not to take advice for that guy. Or go. So, like, I'm the guy that if there's a number next to your name and you walk into my gym, I'm going to give you the smoke because I want it. You know what I mean? I want that. What are we doing if we're not trying to test ourselves against the best people in the entire world? From Merab to Aljo to Ricky Simone to Davey Grant, all of those people I have given all of these. Every time somebody comes into the gym like that, John goes, Jay, go over there. And I do, you know, and I give them my very best every time. You know, sometimes it looks different, but there's days where I lose and there's days where I win. You know what I mean? So, again, man, I'm supremely confident. Like, before I got to the UFC, I didn't know if I was good enough to hang with these people. Now that I have moved to Syndicate, been to Las Vegas, been exposed to these types of people, you know what I mean? And trained with them consistently, and knowing that I am just as good. You know what I mean? And I am one of the hardest, if not the hardest worker in the room all the time. You can ask anybody that's watched me this camp. Every day they go, dude, have you stopped? And no, I don't. I never stop. I never stop because I love what I do. I'd rather, like, on days off, I get bored. I'd rather be in the gym. I'd rather be doing this. You know what I mean? So, like, I'm a hard worker. I'm very talented. You know what I mean? Where rubber meets the road. And guys, I'm a game day fighter. I show up on game day. So,
right. And you're nowhere near the finished product yet either. I mean, you're just going to
No,
better,
I'm not.
So.
No, I'm not. I'm only 29. I still got plenty of years left in the tank. And guys, I don't know if you've ever noticed, I haven't sustained a serious injury in 15 fights. I don't take a ton of damage. You know what I mean? I don't take a ton of like shots. Though Mario did a great job against the cage with his elbows. That was probably the most damage I've ever taken in a fight. You know what I mean? Ever. So again, like, the miles are there, but the damage isn't. You know, the talent is there. The hard work is there. There's no part of this that I'm not absolutely superior at. And I believe that wholeheartedly. You know, all respect to anybody that's in the UFC. They're obviously good. When people like at home go, is he good? I'm like, he's in the UFC. He's obviously good. You know what I mean? But I'm better. I'm better with my work ethic. I'm better with my spirit. I'm better. I'm not going to take a back step to you. I'm not. If you want to meet in the middle, I'm fine with that. We can meet in the middle. I'll trade with you and let you know that you're not just going to walk all over me, and then I'm going to double you over your head. You know, NCAA wrestlers. Guess what? Dwight Joseph was a Division II All-American. Guess what I did? I dumped him 5 times. You know what I mean? So again, things like that, people don't notice, and that's fine. That's fine. But they will on Saturday. This is the biggest stage I've ever been on. And that shit doesn't scare me. It gives me I only get 15 minutes to show everybody what I mean. And that's how I look at it. A lot of people go
or less.
Or less. But again, I'm prepared for war. I'm not prepared for, I'm not prepared to just go. I don't expect to just steamroll anybody in the UFC. I don't. You know what I mean? If I go in there and I do, sick. I'm going to give you everything I got. Don't you worry. But I'm prepared for 15 minutes of a slugfest, and I'm going to do whatever I want to at the end of it. I've worked entirely too hard for any one person to just stand in front of me and say no. No, sir. I've been through, and I've said it in a few interviews, I have gone hungry for days at a time. I have sacrificed just as much, if not more, than anybody. I've slept under bridges at one point. I have, you know what I mean? For another person to just say, nah, it stops here, you're going to have to kill me. Because at this point, I have put too much time, effort, and sacrifice into everything that this is for you to just tell me no. You know what I mean? No shot. So again, with my shield or on it.
Nice. Jay, can I ask you some rapid fire stupid questions? I told you I was going to ask
100%. You. Go ahead. I like stupid questions.
All right. Number one, Philly, Boston, or Chicago? The worst accent of the three.
Chicago.
Oh, come on.
Come on, dude. You're like a mix of Canadian and fucking people from Wisconsin at the same time. It's great.
It's true.
You're like a cheesehead and a Canadian mixed. It's nuts.
I'm glad I didn't lose that one. Northeast got to stand. We got to stick together, I guess.
Like I said, Philly is just Boston, but it's more
less
south.
Less titles.
Yeah, less titles and less talent.
Okay, next question. Tetsuya Ishihara has the best moment in Salt Lake MMA history. What are you going to do to top his post-fight
What?
speech?
I don't know what they did. What does that mean?
Oh, he won and then spent the whole post-fight speech not even talking about who he wanted to fight next. All he kept asking for is where his Salt Lake City bitches were. And actually uttered the term. I would ask you that you should go find this on YouTube at some point. I'll send you the link. He actually used the phrase "lady whore party" at one point.
That's fantastic. I don't know if I can top that.
All right. Well,
I'm for sure. You know what I'm gonna do? Because I'm gonna copy Benel if I can, Dariush. I'm gonna ask Elon Musk for a Tesla.
1,000,000%. Look, my buddy Tommy, that's in chat. That's what makes him his favorite fighter. He's like,
it could just be one. It could be like the Model 1, the first one that came out. But I'll take it. I need a car. You know what I mean? I got a scooter right now. It's nice.
Yeah.
Oh, and then I'm gonna ask my first love, Ashanti, on a date.
That's smart. That's very. That's
my girlfriend is already cool with that. I told her the other day. So I told her the other day because she went to this.
You get the pass.
There was this. Hold on. So there was a Star Wars convention back home, right? And she went, and Ewan McGregor was there, and she said, "I'm going to try and meet him." I said, "Make out with him for both of us, please. That man is beautiful." So Obi-Wan Kenobi. If you didn't, I'd be upset. If you had the opportunity and you didn't,
irresponsible not to.
That's exactly. At this point, you have to. You know what I mean? It'd be like if you met Mark Wahlberg, and he asked you to do some stuff. Do the stuff. What are you talking about? It's pure opportunity. It's not even cheating at that point. So, at the very least, I come from the hood. So if I can get Ashanti to get a picture of her kissing me on the cheek, I win forever. I'm a king forever at that point. So that's Elon Musk. I want a Tesla, even if it's a shitty one. And Ashanti, I would like a kiss on the cheek.
Give this man a Tesla. All right. Next ridiculous question. What do you have any crazy fight day superstitions?
Crazy ones? Nah, not really. I eat breakfast by myself.
Okay. I mean,
that's it. I have a big old breakfast solitarily. I've always had this vision of myself, even before I got fighting, that I was going to be the old man at the diner with his newspaper at 5 o'clock in the morning. And that has just brought me infinite peace for like ever. You know what I mean? So nobody can fuck with me at 5 in the morning.
You're going to do well in your 40s, dude.
Dude, I'm going to love it. I can't wait to get old, dude. I can't wait because I'm going to blame senility on everything.
Yeah,
100%. I'm just gonna shit in a box and give it to my kids, and be like, I thought it was a train set or some shit like that, and just blame it on.
Last ridiculous question I have. Your nickname is the Joker. What is the best and worst fighter nicknames that you've ever heard? And I'm letting you know there's a right and wrong answer for worst nickname. There is a correct
nickname I've ever heard.
I'll give you a hint with mine. He's still active, and he doesn't use this nickname anymore because even he knew it was terrible.
Fuck, I feel like I know who you're talking about too. I thought Sexy Yama was dumb as hell. I don't know. I've heard like Big Dick or something like that before, and people actually
Big
said it
Johnson.
Big Johnson. That's
Big
what
Johnson.
It is.
Yeah.
And they had to like scrap it on like the regional scene. It was cool, but like I haven't really heard anything fucking nuts.
So worst nickname. What's the answer?
Yeah, I'll just go Sexy Yama just because I can't think of one off the top of my head.
I'm sorry that you're wrong. So what we were
that's fine. I can be wrong on that one.
What we were looking for worst name was Corey Beeston 25-8 Anderson as the worst nickname in the history of forget about fights. Worst nickname.
Oh, you know what?
Ever.
I'm gonna say there's a guy. It's not a bad nickname because it's apropos. But there's a guy. His name's Dre Miley, and I'm giving him way too much fucking airtime right now. But he's all over Twitter asking. He's called the One-Eyed Dragon. Right, but get this, actually is blind in one eye. So, you know what I mean? I'm like, it's apropos, but
why are you doing that to us, man? You know, like
I don't know, man. No. Fuck this guy because I don't care if you're blind, dude. He keeps saying that he can beat me, and then like in the next comment he's like, "Good luck, dude." It's like, dude, fuck you. You know what I mean? Like, what? I don't care if you're blind, bro. I'll jab that other eye out. What the fuck are we talking about? You know what I mean? Oh my god!
By the way, best nickname.
He's gonna see this, and it'll be the fucking greatest highlight of his career. So, good for him.
Best nickname is a tie between Jordan I'm gonna Winsky and Willie Whip-Ass Gates as the top two nicknames.
I'm gonna Winsky.
That's right. I remember
Willie Whip-Ass Gates is the greatest nickname of all time. Don't at me. That's the greatest nickname of all time. That is it for my stupid questions. But I wanted to, and I'm sorry to go from comedy to this, but I wanted to just kind of take this interview in one last turn. So you are and I saw an interview on crypto.com and you and I have talked. You are a very big proponent of bringing awareness to mental health in the community. That people don't understand the life of a fighter, the loneliness of a fighter. I know I talked to you about like, it's different than other sports, how maybe you don't fight for months at a time and it's a little bit out of sight, out of mind as fans, but I just want to leave the floor to you with this and let you speak about anything you want, your experiences, or what you want to tell people going forward.
You know, man, like I'm not like a huge sob story guy. You know what I mean? I know that sells and stuff, but basically I was really young and some really bad shit happened to me that I can't even remember, you know, but it affected me my entire life and still does, you know. I've been in therapy since I was a young kid. A lot of bad shit happened to me. And I feel incredibly alone a lot. You know, and I've been in and out of hospitals, you know, and you know what I mean? It's just a terrible place to be, your mind sometimes. And you know, I've buried 5 of my friends. I have a lot of dead people on my body. And I can't bury anymore, guys. I just can't. And so actually August 20th is the 5-year anniversary of somebody I considered a little brother taking his own life. And so, you know, when I win, it's for him. You know, that Wu-Tang tattoo isn't just for the Wu. It's because we used to listen to Wu-Tang together. And, you know what I mean? I couldn't catch him. I always say that I couldn't run fast enough to catch him as he fell. And I can't do that for any. My mentor, you know, is gone as well. And if I can do anything to save even one more person, it would just help one person, then the pain that I have gone through my entire life is worth it. It'll be worth it. I can't, after you've known something like that, it's hard to leave people alone in the dark. And if I can help anybody, that's why I like Patty Pimblett isn't like my favorite guy. You know what I mean? Like, but the fact that he said what he said is so important, man, because especially as men, there's the stigma that we're not allowed to talk. We're supposed to only display raw, aggressive anger, or, you know what I mean? Or shut the fuck up and keep working. And in the world doesn't seem to be getting any nicer to us. And the suicide rate has gone through the roof even since COVID. You know what I mean? So like, fuck, I don't know how to say it, man. I all I do is try my best to encourage everybody, please get help or talk to somebody. There's nothing shameful in saying that you need help. There's nothing shameful in saying that I am struggling and I can't do this alone. And I do everything I can to help even strangers, you know, even if that means just checking in on them, maybe forwarding them some good therapists that I know, or, you know what I mean? Like I shell out my therapist's name. His name is Stuart Flaherty. You know what I mean? Look him up on Twitter. He has helped me instrumentally with my mental health. And, you know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with that. I have no problem being the person that says that I need help sometimes. And a lot of the time, and I'll always struggle with it. I just think that it's time for us to stop being so hard on each other like that. And the only way for us to stop it is to help each other out. You know what I mean? And maybe, I'm not your cup of tea, but even my worst enemy, I'd never leave in darkness like that. So if you need anybody, just remember, if anybody ever feels alone or that they're not going to make it through the day. And I know that I feel that way sometimes. Just know that my hand is always on your shoulder. And if there's anybody that believes in you, I do. And I really encourage everybody, men and women, but men in today's day and age, to please seek help, because I wake up every day, man, and I look in the mirror at the tattoos I have, and I wonder, why couldn't I have helped? Because I didn't know, and it kills me inside every day that I couldn't catch my little brother fast enough. I couldn't be there for the people that meant the most to me. And if it wasn't them guys, it'd be me. You know what I mean? It'd been me. I wouldn't be here in front of you if those people hadn't gone. And I can't turn a blind eye to it any longer, and I can't bury anybody anymore. So if you are struggling, please, from the bottom of my heart, if you need to even reach out to me, I get it. You know what I mean? I have had strangers that I'll never meet in person message me and say, I'm having a hard time, and I will talk you through it. If you need, I'll talk you off the ledge. I'll help you any way that I can. But it is okay to say, I need help, and we can work together to get you it. I promise everything will be all right. But it only starts when you can just say, I can't do this alone.
Dude, fair, awesome message. And I think I'd like to hope that as the years have gone on, that more and more people do feel more open to reach out and share their feelings. Like, we're not alone. We're none of us are alone out there, man. I'm with you.
And I'll continue to send that message, whether I win, lose, draw, doesn't matter. I'm going to work my entire life to make sure that I can help. If it's even just one person, man, if it's just one person, then I've lived a decent, successful life. With all the bad shit that I've done and the mistakes I've made because of my head, I can say that I helped, and then I can die knowing that I did everything I could to save as many people as I could from themselves. So please don't let your family and friends and the people that love you most wake up and wonder why they couldn't help you.
Jay, I can't think of a better place to leave it than that, my man. That's the strong words to go out on from a strong man who's about to get into the cage and fight on Saturday at UFC 278. My man, you gave us an hour of your time 2 days before you're fighting, 1 day before you're weighing in. We can't thank you enough for taking the time to talk with us. Can you just leave us with a prediction for the fight and tell the people who are watching where they can find you and the best way to get a hold of you?
Yeah, man. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Joker_gang35. As far as predictions go, man, you know what I mean? I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna whoop this man's ass one way or another. You know what I mean? So, again, I'm not gonna be specific because I don't give too much away, but it's gonna be entertaining. Me and this man are gonna lock horns in the middle of the cage, and I know he's gonna bring it to me, and I fucking hope he does. I really, really do. I look forward to a war, and I hope that I'm covered in blood and his blood and my blood, and we both get 50K, because I'm sure the 50K will help them feel better about a loss. So
that's a lot of blood.
You know what I mean? Anyway, whatever, so that's what we do, right? And that's why everybody will remember my name one day. So, I'm going in there to win, and this is a fight for my life. It's a fight to prove that I belong. And I can't think of anything more driving than, after so many years of feeling the way that I have, to tell everybody around the world that I am here and I belong, and you're not fucking getting rid of me. So, on Saturday, I hope everybody tunes into the prelims. Prelims are usually pretty lit, so I don't intend to disappoint. So I'm going to finish this man one way or another. If it's not a cold finish, it's going to be 30-27 across the board. So I'm going to give you everything I have, and whether one way, through hell or high water, my hand's getting raised.
Awesome. Well, Jay, thank you so much. Lou, let's leave it right here, man. Thank you for coming on for Balls Deep Breakdown. Jay, we're going to leave it right there. God bless each and every one of you guys that's watching. War, Jay Perrin. Let's go, brother.
Yes, sir. Shout out to Boston, baby. I'm coming back home next week. Let's go.
Boston.
Win a championship, Philly.
Boo.